Greetings everyone on this glorious Monday morning, nearly afternoon. So, how was your weekend? I'm going to adjust this because it's very high. That's better. So I'm back doing another live. Full of cold today. I seem to be ill constantly at the moment, which is an interesting thing. I think I need to do a session with one of my colleagues about constantly being ill and what that means. So underneath I'm ill all the time, there's a real sense of giving up almost, which is there's definitely something going on there. So sorry if I'm coughing a lot or if I sound a bit stuffy. That's why I'm not at my best. I think I'm tired as well. Not sleeping with an 18-month-old in the house is just taking its toll. So I was thinking over the weekend about an issue that's been up for some time with me, actually. For those of you who have done Four Winds training, you will be aware of the archetypes that we work with. We work with serpent in the south, we work with jaguar in the west, we work with hummingbird in the north, eagle in the east, and then we move upwards. So we've got Huascar at our throat, the guardian of the underworld. And then a point of conjecture for me, we come to here and we have Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, the guardian of the middle realms. The one we can turn to when we need advice about middle realms stuff. So, you know, like liturgy, work things, family stuff, household chores, money, all those kind of things. So what happens in our Four Winds training is when we go through our training, we receive in the south a Munai key rite called the Aini Karpai, which is Aini is balance, harmony rite. So, and in that we receive each of the archetypes an energetic seed in the chakra where they sit, and then it's our job to grow our relationship with them. So I remember initially, I've had the rite a few times now, but initially when I received Quetzalcoatl here, trying to tap into this energy, initially he was like, I'd get a feathered serpent coming out of a cave, but it would be a cartoon. And I remember my teacher at the time, who's now no longer with us, saying, well, that's interesting, isn't it? What's going on with your relationship with your middle world? Is it a joke? Maybe a bit of a projection on her part, I'm not sure. But anyway, it kind of got me to thinking. And I work really hard, checking in every day, really trying to just connect with that energy of Quetzalcoatl. And eventually he started to look a bit more like a serpent, but there was like a human quality to him. And actually I got to the point which was a lot more comfortable for me. I'd call him in, I'd go, this is kind of like my little map, my subconscious map that I'd go to. I'd go and meet him on a mountainside on like a rocky outcrop, and there'd be a fire, and he'd come out the cave, but he'd be a man with lots of, he'd be adorned in lots of feathers and things, but lots of gold. And he had like a real energy about him. So he'd come and sit in front of the fire and he'd kind of dance, kind of look in the fire. Let's go check out the chaos of this world from the fire. And I could kind of connect with that. But I didn't know why Quetzalcoatl was coming to me as a human when he's a feathered serpent. And then I remember a little while, these are all sort of little snippets, I was having a chat on a shamanic forum and someone asked about archetypes. And obviously there are lots of different streams of shamanism. It's like an umbrella term. And I said, well, in our lineage, we have Quetzalcoatl in the third. I didn't mention all the others. And someone went, no, that's not Incan. And I'm like, no, I know it's not Incan. I know it's Mayan. I get that. I've got a friend who's a Mayan medicine man. We've had lots of talks about it, and it's very interesting. But this is what we learn in the Four Winds. And I kind of, that didn't sit right with me, and I thought, oh, there's still something about Quetzalcoatl and me and my relationship that's not sitting right. And then when I went and did my training recently with Chris Waters, who's an amazing teacher, by the way, a wealth of knowledge, amazing, not arguing with anything she says at all, get it. In the South, we did some connecting in, and we were embodying the archetypes, and it was all fine until I got to Quetzalcoatl. And of course, my Quetzalcoatl comes out, sits down in front of, so I sat with him. And everyone else is running around like a nut. I didn't realise this at the time because I was kind of there with this kind of in front of the, let's have a look in the fire and let's go and dance among the chaos. Anyway, eventually I realised that she'd come and stood next to me and she went, ahem. I looked up and she's there and I'm like, yes. And she went, do you want to get up and run around with people? And actually I didn't. I wanted to say to her, no, I don't actually. Because that's going on, this isn't how I connect with my guy, and I know that whatever's going on with me, really, really, I've sat with it for so long now, there's something else going on here. Anyway, good old Waite Wheeler and Drake Bear Stephen, this wonderful book on Chumpi stones. I was reading it because it's another interest of mine, and I came across a little section of energy work with Chumpi stones, and in it, there's a note on the Aini Karpai, the harmony rites, and it goes Sachamama, Puma, hummingbird, condor, huascar, and then it comes to where Quetzalcoatl should be, and the name Manco Capac. I've probably not pronounced that right either. Sorry to anyone who knows how to pronounce it, and if anyone does know how to pronounce it, please do tell me if I've got it wrong. And I thought, who the hell's that? That's not Quetzalcoatl. Legend says that Manco Capac, with his wife, emerged from Lake Titicaca to found Cusco and the Incan Empire. He became the first Inca ruler. He represents the sixth chakra, which is the psychic centre of the physical body. He is called the son of the sun, so the son is in someone's son and daughter son, and is chosen as the human keeper of the Kaipacha, the middle world. The number 6 Chumpi stone is used to install the archetype of this chakra. Note, interesting, the Four Winds school teaches Quetzalcoatl, the feather serpent, should be installed in the 6th chakra. He was from Mesoamerican cosmology and not an Incan deity, so I'm not certain why he's used. I choose to install Manco Capac, who began the Inca lineage. He seems quite appropriate to represent the middle world. Now, that sits far better with me, and actually, when I started looking into this Manco Capac character a bit more, the imagery that came up was similar to what I see. So, there are ways to do things and there are ways not to do things, and then there's all that bit in the middle about exploring what's right for us. In energy work, we have to work in integrity, we have to be very certain, we have to be sensible, and we have to do our own personal work, because actually you end up holding space for others. You've not done your personal work, the chances of you messing someone up are quite high. So we have to take it very seriously, and I take everything that I'm taught on board, not with a pinch of salt. I really consider it and make sure that it's sitting right with me. And there was just something about this that wasn't quite right, and I've kind of learned that I need to trust in my tracking a little bit more. This isn't me rebelling from the lineage at all. This is me really trying to connect with it in a way that's real and right for me. And it's a note on messing people's energy up. There was another time, someone I remember years ago, this is way before the whole COVID fiasco happened, and we were at a gem show, and I remember feeling really odd a few weeks before, like my energy was all off and I was being clumsy and I didn't quite know who I was, and it turned out somebody that I knew, who I actually trusted, had started seeing this woman who was a member of the deer tribe, and I'm sorry if mentioning the name isn't okay, but I kind of feel like it kind of, I need to express a little bit, but for whatever reason, he'd got her to look into my energy field. And she told him all this stuff that just wasn't true. And I remember feeling really incensed at the time and really, really, this isn't okay. I've not given my permission. How dare you? How dare you do this? And how dare you call yourself a shaman when you're doing things like this? It's not okay. So, sorry, just kicking off. We had to call in the mountains. We had to call all of the sacred mountains in to sit around me and to make sure that my field was completely protected. And we had to do all this work about, you know, getting rid of any detritus that may have been left or may have been caused by this person. Invading my field. So we have to work in integrity, and I think part of why I'm doing these videos now is because it gives me a chance to reflect and to share, and I think, you know, we can learn so much from each other. So I'm as always interested to hear of people's experiences, interested to connect in and link in with people. So yeah, I was thinking about this whole Quetzalcoatl thing over the weekend, and I thought it would be an interesting one to put out there. It was interesting that I'd sort of semi-tracked that there was another sort of energy going on, especially for other people. So I did actually message Bear to have a chat with him, and I said to him, do you think this is what the energy that I'm linking in with here? Because Quetzalcoatl, as cool as he sounds, it's just not working for me. When I link in with this other energy, my tracking all of a sudden gets much better. My ability, my relationship with me in this world, in this physical world that we're in now, improves when I start to accept and just kind of give credence to the fact that actually it's okay to not, you know, the hard and fast rules, as long as you're being in integrity, and it's not that I'm doing it to affect anyone else. It's literally self-reflection, and it's something that's been bothering me, not for a few months, it's been bothering me for years and years and years. So I guess what I'm saying is, you know, trust your instincts, and trust if something doesn't sit right, maybe explore into that. What is it about this situation and me within it that's not sitting right? And maybe then starting to ask those inquiring questions. If you sit here and you just kind of feel into it and go, okay, yeah, it's this or this or this. It's just giving yourself space, I guess, and just stepping back and allowing yourself to be present in the moment. So, yeah, for anyone who wants to know a bit about the cosmology of the Andes, this book is great. Now, I've had someone on YouTube who's been initiated into the Chumpy lineage. You have to have permission to work with Chumpy stones. I spoke to Wake about this, and he said, no, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. He said, of course, you want to understand the culture and the cosmology that you're working with when you're working with healing tools like this. And this is a point, actually, I don't know how many of you know what Chumpy stones are. Does anyone know what Chumpy stones are? Am I talking to the converted here? Does anyone want to know in a very brief, minute detail what Chumpy stones are? I can tell you, Chumpy, the word Chumpy means band or belt. So the Chumpy stone, there's a link with the chakras, and I'm gonna push Wake to do some more work with me, because actually the people that I've worked with so far don't really work with them, but I've really felt called to work with them, which is why I've got the book, I've got the lineage already, I kind of understand the background. But they're very interesting. I've got some up here, actually, I'll just grab them. I'll grab one. Which one wants to come? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is golden apatite. So they come in all different sizes and shapes. this is my set. This is number 7, so this is hello on your crown. There's a lot of stuff around this, so we do a lot of work around opening up our crown, pouring this rainbow light through our field. When we're reinforcing ourselves every morning, we have a daily practice where we check in with our archetypes, we receive something called the bands of power, which are protection, field protection basically, and our connection actually to the elements, so reminding us that we are earth, water, fire, air and ether, so that we feel complete. So every morning we expand our bands out, we connect to the waters, we connect to the earth, we connect to the light, the sun, the fires, we connect to the moon and the wind. And it's all about, you plant your seed in the earth, you irrigate it with water, you feed it with sun, you bring lots of sun, and the sun, sort of it draws the seeds outwards and expansively, and then the wind blows it and the moon cleanses, and then when you connect to the ether, then you are everything and you can be whoever you want to be. Again, in a nutshell, I'm not going into too much detail here because it's I'd be going on for ages, and that's what Moon Nike workshops are for. So these stones, they are used to install the bands of power. They're also used to install the archetypes. So each of them is related to one of the archetypes, which is kind of cool. I've given these rites with Chumpy stones, but I've not received them with Chumpy stones, and I'd be quite keen for that to happen at some point so that I can experience it. Whether me giving them with them when I've not received them or not is right or wrong, I don't know, but is there any right or wrong, or are we just all here to experience and grow our intuition and grow our knowledge and wisdom and grow ourselves as humans, the people that we're truly meant to be? So yes, the great Quetzalcoatl debacle, or debate. There has been debate, and I've taken it all on board, and this is kind of like a light bulb moment, this book. When I read it, I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to run with that and see how I go. So how are all of you today? How are you in yourselves? How are you in this world? What are you with? What are you connecting to? What are you working with? How are you feeling? What are you noticing? What are you grateful for? I suppose I should say I'm grateful for this physical body that just seems to want to be sick all the time at the moment in some way or another. At least I can feel stuff, and at least I have a body to experience this stuff with, although I could do without. Sorry, now my stomach's rumbling because I'm hungry. Yeah, alright, I'll feed you in a minute. I have a physical body that I can feed with physical food and experience. It's like Nicolas Cage, right, in City of the Angels, when he says, what does that pear taste like? And she goes, well, don't you know what a pear tastes like? He's like, well, yeah, but I don't know what a pear tastes like to you. So we all have these physical bodies so that we can experience these things. And actually, for some of us, illness is a great time to be still and rest, that rest that we don't grant ourselves very often. And I'm a terrible one for that. I have to keep going and look after everyone else. And, eventually my body goes, do you know what? Enough's enough. We're going to stop. You can go to bed and stay there for days until you've learnt to rest. So yes, I'm grateful for my physical body, and I suppose I'm grateful for these viruses and bugs that keep popping up and reminding me that I'm in a physical body. As always, I'm grateful for cacao. I'm grateful that my spirit of the valley turned up over the weekend after having disappeared on a flight of fancy for a little while. Kind of got the feeling Hummingbird took her off on a little adventure to bring in some new ideas maybe, or something. Or maybe that's just my head wanting to believe that. But anyway, Spirit of the Valley is back. She's in stock. What else is new? I am going to check in again with Butcher Ancient Farm, if I can pronounce it properly. There is an amazing Iron Age ancient farm The actual farm's a few miles somewhere else. They've kind of recreated it, but they've created an amazing space with lots of roundhouses and things. There's a real Celtic roundhousey tribal sense, and it's literally just 5 minutes around the corner from where I live. So I approached them in November and said, look, I've noticed you've got these amazing roundhouses, you've got 2 small ones, a massive one, you have all these amazing events, you have Beltane every year, you have Viking fires, you have winter tales, you have Samhain, you have a fire pit and no firekeeper. Would you like a firekeeper, and would you like someone to come and do cacao? Because I've also noticed that you offer yoga, and although cacao's not a Celtic thing, who knows, right? The Vikings went everywhere. We know the Vikings went everywhere. They ended up all over the place. They were going to America long before old Columbus. Was it Columbus? I can't remember. All the people who, my head brain at the moment, all the people that, in the Mayflower, the people that turned up in the Mayflower and went, oh, we've discovered a new country. Isn't it funny that the natives speak European languages? No one thought, oh, maybe someone's been here before. So up their own backsides. We've planted a flag, it's ours. We're British now. We've got some potatoes and some turkeys, and these people are very nice and give us lots of stuff, and we're just going to take all their land from them. Bit of a... I think I'm being triggered. Anyway, we know the Vikings went everywhere, so it was entirely possible, of course, that at some point a Viking may have experienced the plant medicines of the jungles and, you know, just forgot to mention it. Who knows? Anyway, cacao is, she's over here now. She's made her way across the great pond, and now we are enjoying her in a hopefully mainly respectful and dignified fashion, with lots of creativity and lots of wonder and beauty. And as always, I say this for those of you who've tried cacao. Obviously, I've tried lots, and I try and if there's a new one, and I know or hope that it's not from a hybrid species, I will try it, obviously, within integrity. But Spirit of the Valley is the one I've landed on, and the reason I've landed on it is because it is just such a divine thing. I keep saying it every video I do, and every time I mention it, everyone says to me who's tried it, oh my god, this is amazing stuff. Where can I get some? If you want to try it, message me. I'm thinking that I might do little sample packs, so people don't have to buy the whole lot, but you know, it's amazing medicine. It helps to open this and to open your heart and to connect the two. So right vision, right heart. I think actually there's a sense of going down into the sacral chakra. These 3 centres that in the Incan traditions that we practice, we feed with fire. We link them all in. So we say Tuku Yankai Nyok, my brain at the moment, goodness me, onto your sacral chakra, all the right action, how to be in this world in integrity, in the right way. Tuku Munai Nyok, all the right love. And Tuku Yachai Nyok, with all the right vision, all the right clarity. And so those 3 centres, if you've got those in balance and they're fed and they're fired up and they're energised, you are reminded. And you have the, you know, when you do stuff, you become more mindful when you connect into those energies. And other cultures may have a similar thing, you know, this just a reminder of how to tread as wardens of this earth, upon the earth. So yeah, I went off on a massive tangent then. I was only going to talk about Quetzalcoatl today, but I didn't, as always. Anyway, it's always nice to hear if any of you are with anything that you want to share, if any of you have experienced anything, if any of you have any thoughts about cacao, if you've tried Spirit of the Valley and you think it's magnificent just as I do. If you've had experiences with shamanic healing, if you are a shaman, it's always nice to connect in. If you've had a nice walk in nature, tell us about it. Tell us what you noticed. What birds were singing today. What How did your feet feel? How was the sound of your feet on the earth? Was it, all of these sorts of things. It's a really good practice, a really good way to be mindful. So I implore all of you, if you've not done it already and you're feeling a little bit disconnected, go and sit on the earth. I know it's wet, but you're going to get a wet bum. Worse things have happened. And it's another way of connecting. Sit on the earth, barefoot if possible, really nice. Maybe against a tree, maybe you sit in the middle of a field, wherever you feel you need to be there, be present. Let yourself go into that journey. A daily practice of what we call sit spotting, of just being present in the moment with Mother Earth, feeling how the mycelium that connects all of the plants under the earth, actually we have a mycelium that connects all of us as well. We're all connected by, alright, we don't put our roots down, but we put our energetic roots down and we go. So, George over in America, hey, somehow, somewhere, there's a connection there. I truly believe that. I believe we're all within the very roots of us. We're connected to the very roots of everybody else and every other being on this planet. So if you've not done Sit Spot, great things can come from it. Go do Sit Spot. So I'm going to be quiet now. I'm going to go and do my Sit Spot and feed this poor, tired, physical body that just can't quite shake off the bugs, and see what comes with the rest of the day. So anyway, I hope that was an interesting video, or it made sense to some people. As always, it's just a way of me channeling what's in outwards, in a very raw and sometimes undignified kind of way. Yes, and exciting, www.thewayofthehummingbird.co.uk is on its way. I've had a chat with my web lady today. Now we've got the osteopathic stuff under control, she can now focus on being truly creative and creating this magnificent, wonderful, magical space which just kind of brings everything together. So watch this space. I will put up a post when it's up and running, but it shouldn't be too long. She's pretty efficient and she's pretty good at what she does. So yes, I'm wishing you all a wonderful day, and I'm wishing you all a day of ease, a day of connection, a day of noticing something new. And if anyone feels like sharing what's new in them, what's new that you've noticed, share away. I'd be delighted to hear, truly and honestly. So, with right action, right love, and right vision, I wish you all a very magical, wonderful, joyous day. Until the next time.